Hello there folks, welcome back to the channel. Still in lockdown at the moment, so not getting a chance to go out and do any form of camping, but it is for the benefit of us all, so just making sure I'm abiding by the actual regulations, etc. But it doesn't mean I can't go out camping in the back garden and having a bit of fun outside as well. But I'm going to do a bit of a gear review, so I've got two wee bits. This has just actually arrived. I wasn't expecting this until sort of mid-June, but it's actually arrived quite a bit earlier. So this is the actual the OneTigris Backwoods Bungalow, and this is the version 2.0, which again I'll go through a little bit of a difference as to the 2.0 to the first original one that actually came out, but this has been some massive improvements on it. But again, I'll show you the little bits and bobs that they've actually done just to actually improve it. The other bit I was wanting to talk to you about as well was battery packs. And I've had a few issues over the last week while charging devices and various things like that when I'm actually out. So I've actually invested in this. This is the OUTXE. So I've got the Kickstart pack and I've also got the Savage. So I'll go through them as well once I've actually got the shelter set up. So I'm just going to get that laying out just now, and then I'll come back to this in a wee bit. Now with this, you've got two different ways of actually having the roof. So you can actually do it a ridge line, basically just obviously your cordage across the actual thing, through the actual thing with things like pressing knots, etc. Or alternatively, you can actually use sticks. And now the ideal way is sticks, or whatever you prefer yourself. But again, from the point of view of the actual sticks, obviously out in the wild there are going to be sticks that I'm going to be able to use. Don't have any here. So I'm going to need to try to have a wee hunt around, try and see what I can actually find, just to actually get the actual main roof line set up. So off I go. Sorry, give these a try. They look as if they'll probably be about the right sort of height. Okay, so just going to dismantle this more than anything else. Now I'm still in enough trouble after the last time where I actually cut my wife's shovel down. So I'll need to do this quietly so I don't get caught again. One wee thing I've noticed just now is you get 12 of these, so again plenty of them, but it's more a case of you would definitely need some sort of hammer or something like that to be able to actually put them down. It's just it's quite hard at the actual top just because of the shape of it. So again, when you're trying to actually push it into the ground, so you would definitely need stone, hammer, something like that, or axe, which I'll probably be using itself. But again, comes with all the guidelines, etc. So it seems to have everything that's actually required there. So that's it. I'm just going to get the actual sticks put up, and then that'll actually be the actual main frame of the actual thing itself up, and then I'll just go through some of the wee bits and bobs on it. Dubious about the stitching, the strength of it, more than anything else. Just with the Scottish winds that we tend to have. Okay, so that's the sort of main line set up, so I'm just going to get the sides actually set up just now as well. And again, it's quite nice because it's actually got a little porch area, so I'll get the porch area into the configuration just so you can actually see it in its all its glory. Okay, so that's it actually set up. I have to say, well impressed. So as I said, that's it with the porch up. Now you can have it with the porch up, or alternatively, obviously the porch down, and it just ends up being a normal sort of tent. But that whole porch thing's actually really nice. I like it. Very impressed, very impressed. So again, you can actually just sort of see there where you would normally have the ridge line. So again, that would just give that extra little bit of tension on the actual roof. And the other thing as well is on the back itself. So you've actually got your ventilation across the actual back. So that actual bit there, I'll show you when we're actually inside. But that actual bit there is just basically mesh underneath it. So it just gives you that extra bit of ventilation. But the other idea as well is you can actually tie off these two parts onto trees when you're actually out, just to give you that extra space. So that's it from the back, but it's huge, it's ginormous. Okay, so we'll pop inside and I'll show you it. So I have to say, well impressed. First time I've actually had a really cool piece of kit. A bit different to what I've normally sort of had. I've obviously got the lights of the tarp and then the Polish Lavoo. This is just something a little bit extra to add into the arsenal that I've got there. But well impressed, really nice. It's more a case of, I think again, that ridge line side of things would probably be the slightly better way if you don't have access to sticks or whatever. But really nice. One of the big differences between this one and the version 1 that we were sort of talking about earlier on, the ventilation in the actual back, you can actually see it just across the actual back there. So you can actually adjust that out or bring it back in again, depending on how much ventilation you actually want. But the other thing as well was the actual toggles there. What people were finding in version 1 was there wasn't enough of the actual material to be able to sort of get the actual toggles round. So you were really struggling. But the other thing that they've actually put on version 2 as well is a wee hook just in there, just for, say for instance, the lights of a head torch or anything, just to give you that little bit of extra light inside it. But no, really nice piece of kit. So basically on this you've actually got your mesh that just folds down. Okay, so you've actually got your full zip in all the way around. Now, anybody that's camped in Scotland will know why that's so important. Midges. Because again, if you go in the lights of the hammock and tarp and that sort of things as well, sometimes it's a little bit hard just to sort of keep the midges at bay. So lights of having that netting there still means you've got the light and the ambient light sort of coming in. Because again, for having the sort of tarp on top of the hammock and everything as well, it's not quite so good. But the netting there is actually really nice. I call it, the material seems to be really good. To an extent it's waterproof, but I'll put the actual technical features of the actual product itself just below. So anyone wanting to know the sort of finite details can go online and actually have a wee look. But first impressions, well pleased. Actual room inside, very impressed. I'd probably say it's more one person plus kit. It is meant to be a two-person. You can actually get two people in there, and I do know that two people have actually slept in them before, but found it a little bit in the neat side and had to have the kit sort of out underneath the actual canopy itself. So I'll probably go along the lines of having it just as a sort of one person. But very impressed. Very impressed. I think the improvements that they've actually made over the first versions definitely made it a much better product. So have a wee look at it. As I said, it's the OneTigris Backwoods Bungalow, and this is a 2.0 version. Okay, so what I'm going to do now, go on to the next bit of kit that I was talking about earlier on. So the other thing I was wanting to go through today as well was this. Now what I've come across the last couple of times that I've actually been away while camping is a problem with power. So it's been a case of actually trying to charge devices, etc. as well, but it's been more low temperatures. So the actual battery packs that I've actually had, my mobiles and all that sort of things have been coming up saying that the actual temperatures are too low to charge. I've ended up having to go into my van and actually sit in my van for like an hour to charge a device, and obviously I'm running diesel, etc. as well, so it's not very environmentally friendly. So I've had a look at alternative options and come up with this. So I've only used it the actual once. So this particular thing is the OUTXE. So it's the actual charging pack itself. So there's two different ones. I've actually got both. This particular actual thing itself is what's known as a scavenger. But then you also get the likes of the starter pack as well, or the kickstart pack. Now you can even actually see just now, just even with actually a bit of sun there, the actual lights come on. But the packs themselves, you've got two different versions. This one's got a solar panel on one side, and then it's just got its normal device on the other. Whereas in the actual other one that I've actually got as well, it's got a solar device on one side and then it's actually got a charging station on the other. So you can actually charge conceivably 3 devices all at the same time. Because you've actually got, in here, you've got your charging port itself for the actual device. Now I've actually got this on charge just now, or the other battery pack itself actually on charge just now, just using the solar panel that it actually comes with. So I'll show you that just in a wee second. And then you've got your 2 USBs just in the actual back there. Now, big benefit with this particular pack itself, basically it's dustproof, waterproof, it's everything. It's so bulletproof, very, very rugged. Not the lightest pack in the world, but certainly from the point of view of actual worth it. Now, last time I actually went into my bivvy bag and I was lying there giving it, right, well, I don't necessarily want to go to sleep with it actually charging, but it took 35 minutes to charge it. So that was 35 minutes to charge from 20% to 100%. So very, very, very impressive. So it's 20,000 milliamps. So the actual battery itself in the device is just phenomenal. So this is the actual starting, the kickstart pack, as I said. So you actually get the thing itself. You get a wee solar panel. You've got your plug, carabiners. You've got your charging cables, etc. just in there. And I've just basically on here. There's normally just things like microphones, other sort of electrical equipment that I've actually got with it as well. Really rugged case that it actually comes with. Again, technical spec wise, I'll actually put a link to the actual device, etc. in the actual description below, just so you can actually go into it in a bit more detail. But certainly from the point of view of outdoor life and everything as well, it's just phenomenal. It will actually charge from 0 to 100. It will actually charge, I think it's 7 times. On the one charge itself. Now it takes 6 hours for you to actually charge this, because this actually has a capability of actually having 2 cables actually charging at the same time, just on there. So you can actually charge it a lot quicker than you can normally for other battery packs. So what I've got this done just now, I've got it hooked up here just now, so I'll just actually move the camera over, you can see it. So as I said, today's a perfect day for it, just with it obviously being the weather that it is, but I basically got the actual carabiner hooked onto the actual top there, and it's got the solar panel which you can actually use for charging mobile phones, etc. as well. And again, on the last the wild camp trip that I actually did, I ended up using that for charging quite a lot. And then that's hooked up to the actual battery pack itself, which again has a solar panel on it. So there's your solar panel on the one side, and then on the other side you've actually got your charging situation, and you've also got a wee light just at the end as well. But really cool piece of kit. Again, when you're actually away wild camping, you know yourself, sometimes when you are away for sort of multiple days, you do sort of need a bit of a constant charge. Now sometimes I've been in a situation where I've ended up having to have the van reasonably close, so that I do have the capability to be able to go back and charge it just in case I do have a problem with the actual cables itself. Okay, so thanks very much for watching. Hopefully you've enjoyed that. A little bit more informative more than anything else, a little bit different. Hopefully my next few videos might be out in the wild, who knows when this is going to end, but hopefully you're all taking care. So what's left for me to do is get the shades on, enjoy the rest of the day, have a beer, and take care everyone. See you in the next one.